Welcome to another segment of Lady Mogul Talk, and today we have LaShana West, which is long overdue. I remember I was on her platform, so I'm happy that she had the time to come talk to us today. Welcome, LaShana. I am so happy to have you here.
Hello, likewise. Yeah, it's so crazy. I think it was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, you were on the platform.
Time really flies, and a lot has happened since then.
For sure.
So first I wanted to say congratulations on taking the leap into full-time entrepreneurship. We all want to be like you when we grow up. And we just want to first ask, what was it like as someone who climbed the corporate ladder to actually take that leap and switch into entrepreneurship? What was that process like?
Yeah, so it's just surreal that I'm being asked that question. And the reason why I say that is because it took me a while to make the decision. My whole life, it's been get your degree, get a good job, retire from the good job, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I never even had a thought of, no, leave the job, create your own empire, and the sky's the limit. So, climbing the corporate ladder, as you guys know, sometimes we go for the titles. Oh, I want to be the CEO. I want to be a program director. I want to be the owner. And what we have to realize is that you can do all of that in your own backyard with your own company and provide jobs and roles for others so they can do the same. So it's definitely been a journey, but every single part of the journey has been life-changing, from me being scared and experiencing fear to make the decision, to me making the decision and asking myself, wow, why didn't you do this sooner? Right? Like that's literally what I'm experiencing right now. And it's literally been about 35 days since I made the leap. So I'm super excited just to share with you guys on how the experience has been going.
And I'm so glad that you touched on fear, because everything that you talk about, it leads back to imposter syndrome. And I've had it. I've heard that you've had it. I'm sure we all have had it, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yep.
Why was it important for you to be transparent, which I think is amazing, to be transparent about imposter syndrome?
Honestly, very, 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 very important. And I think that's a part of why I've been able to be so successful in my brand and as an entrepreneur, because I'm transparent. I'm quirky, I'm corny. Sometimes I make jokes that aren't funny. I show up consistently. You might hear me say some slang. You might hear me be professional, but that's who I am. And so I had to be transparent with, I specialize in helping entrepreneurs move past mental blocks and imposter syndrome, but I've struggled with it as well. And it's not past tense, because imposter syndrome is something that comes up periodically through your life, depending on what you're doing and where you are. And so had I not shared that, then how am I really going to make an impact for myself and others? And that's really been able to push me through the breakthrough and push me past fear.
Yeah, and I think through you sharing your own story, people are able to see some of themselves in you. I know I see some of myself in some of your journeys, because again, we all go through personal battles that people may not know about. Yeah. But in sharing our stories, we heal others and we also heal ourselves, which I think is so wonderful that you've taken on this initiative, and it ties into your work in the mental health profession. So I would love to hear about how you've seen like a alignment between even mental health and then what you do now.
Yeah, so this is the question of the freaking year, because I'm just having all these aha moments to, wow, LaShana, you've been in the mental health field for over 20 years, starting off serving at-risk kids, dysfunctional families, everything from crisis stabilization to being a therapist in the home. And literally, I've been a coach the whole time. A therapist is a coach. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to help you reframe your mindset so you can come up with different options and opportunities. They're going to help you to not be hard on yourself and give yourself grace. And they're also going to help you push past mental blocks. The only thing different that I'm not doing now in my entrepreneurial coach/consultant role is digging into the trauma and the diagnosis. But everything else is the same. So we have to really think about the transferable skills that we already have, that we've paid all these big institutions and went to college for, that you could literally maneuver those over to building your own business and being your own boss. And I'm not saying leave your 9-to-5. You can still, some people maintain it all. I just chose to kind of maneuver away from it so I could give my all into this arena in this season. Who knows? I might find something else that I want to learn and dive into and go back. I have no idea. But right now, in this present moment, me being a therapist has literally helped me trailblaze as an entrepreneur.
You said a real gem right there when you said transferable skills, because I was just, even today, I think it was on Instagram, I was looking at a post that said college is a scam. And I was like, well, I wouldn't say it's a scam. It might not be for everybody, but I would not say it's a scam. Even though my background was in political science and public administration, a lot of those skills have transferred into how I see business systems and automation and different things. So you can learn something from literally everything that you do, whether it's good or bad. You just take that bad and make it good for your own brand. So I love that you said transferable skills.
Right. I agree. I don't think college is a scam. I think what they're trying to say is you spend 4 years, you pay all this money, and when you get out, you only make this amount of money. You can look at it that way. Or you can look at it as every opportunity is a learning opportunity, and whether that person uses their college degree or not, what else did they get from college? Was it learning how to build relationships? Was it networking? Was it being structured and having your day planned for you? And now you can generalize those skills as an adult when no one's telling you what to do. And that's having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't think anything is a scam. It's just about how you leverage the experience.
Exactly. And I think that it also just ties into knowing your strengths, which is something that you highlight as well. Yep. The DISC assessment, I remember when I first took it, I probably should take another one soon. It's been a while. But you always emphasize taking a DISC assessment with your clients. And that's something, actually, I've incorporated it with the Profit Accelerator Academy, but it probably needs to update. Thanks for the reminder. But why was that important? Why was it essential for them to start off knowing their strengths? I know why, but for the viewers.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so yes, I am a certified DISC consultant, and the DISC assessment is a self-awareness assessment that helps you to know what your superpowers are, what you thrive in, what your strengths are, but also what your blind spots are. What are your gaps? If you think about it, we all know how to drive. We're driving, but there's a blind spot back there, and if we're not aware of the blind spot, we might crash, we might hit something, we might miss something. So with the DISC assessment, it lets you know how you're showing up in the world. Me personally, I'm a high I and a high D. So the high I is all about experience, interactive, innovating, servant leadership, caring about what the people think, the party, keep the party going, right? However, let's say that you're so focused on being a high I and the experience that everything else is getting lost behind. So it's more so thriving in your superpowers and covering your blind spots. Mm-hmm. And knowing what your superpowers are, that self-awareness, is key, because then you know exactly what you're in the pocket on, and you're not fuzzy and you're not confused about it. So I am definitely a writer for the DISC assessment. I know some other things are like the Myers-Briggs and things of that nature, but if you are looking for the DISC assessment and an expert in that area, I'm definitely your girl.
I would definitely consider hiring LaShana for that, because I've seen even some of the behind the scenes that you've done and posted on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And it's just really amazing how you just dig deep and give clients exactly what they need and learn how to turn those weaknesses into and leverage that itself, because everything doesn't have to hold you back if it's a weakness. You can use that as an advantage.
Right. So, yeah. Thank you. I also wanted to add, the gap is because instead of saying weakness, I call it learning opportunity. And we're not wanting you to be a high I if you're not. We don't want you to be a high D if you're not. But there's either people or processes. Mm-hmm. Avery, you specialize in the systems and the automation, things of that nature, that you now know you have a gap in. So if you know that you're a lower D, and the D is for decisiveness, decision making, problem solving. If you know that you're in your head, you're over analyzing, then maybe you get a checklist. Once this is done, and this is done, I need to move to the next step. Or maybe your coach or your coaching program is high on accountability. Shout out to Accountability on Demand, to where you now know you need to make that decision. So instead of trying to be something that you're not, just get the support in that area so you can move forward.
That's amazing. And I heard you give a little shout out to AOD crew. Yes, I'm not a part of it, but I know the little thing. So this is a perfect way to segue into AOD crew, because
Sure.
again, it's just an amazing movement that you've created, giving people accountability, giving them tangible skills, not just motivation, that's important, but tangible skills that will help them get to their next level.
Yep, for sure. So accountability on demand, basically, I think that every coach, consultant, or service provider, I think that we create something that we need. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think that because we see the gap, we see that, okay, this is what I want. I need accountability. I need a community that is thriving. I need women who are supportive. I need bop, 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 bop. Okay, let me just create it. And when we create it and we're testing out, see if it's working, it then starts to evolve into something that we didn't even know could happen. For example, Lady Mogul, like literally when you created that, I'm sure there was a gap somewhere. You're like, I want this. This is like build an entity, right? So I built accountability on demand, and literally it's what it is. Because of my personality, because I'm very persistent and consistent, that accountability is there. And I'm going to ask you, okay, so before we end, what are we working on? That's my personality. So I made a brand around me holding people accountable, me teaching people how to hold themselves accountable, and then just kind of builds a community around that. So it's coaching, it's consulting, it's community-based, and it's also self-care based.
And that's an important element to incorporate, the self-care. And speaking of self-care, that's something that we hear about all of the time now, but that wasn't the case maybe like 1 to 2, maybe 3 years ago. We were like, hustle hard, hustle, work till we, get to our goals and have the life that we want. But yes, now we've transitioned to, we can work hard, but we can play harder, work smarter, and different things like that. So have you seen that shift yourself? And what advice would you have for someone who's maybe having a difficulty prioritizing or balancing that?
Yeah, I've definitely seen the shift. And actually, when I created Bay, because I have another platform called Balance Above Everything, I was a fraud. I didn't have no balance, but I know I needed it. Mm-hmm. So I created something that kind of held me accountable to continue to serve and represent balance and self-care. So as I created that, then I started to implement it myself. And many of us think, well, I'm not doing this myself. I haven't made 6 figures myself. How can I teach this? Just teach what you know and get someone from A to B. No one said you had to get them all the way to Z. So once we start, then we can let everything evolve. And so to answer your question in short, self-care and mindset and mental health has definitely evolved over time. And I think we're doing a great job to make sure that that's at the forefront. However, when life happens, sometimes we end up forgetting about those things. But what we have to remember is you cannot pour from an empty cup. Your cup has to be overflowing, and that's what everybody else should receive, because CEOs get paid to think, and you cannot think if you are bombarded and overwhelmed and saturated with all of the stuff. So I am definitely pro self-care, pro mindset, and definitely pro mental health.
That was a whole word. We passed the collection plate now, but that is so true. Because if your mindset is not there, and we just saw this with Naomi Osaka, Simone Biles, now just received the gold medal, not the bronze medal after taking that break that she needed. She didn't bend to pressures of society. So it is important that we first have our mindset together before we can accomplish anything.
Factual.
Yes. Now, I want to just switch gears just a little bit and ask, what advice would you give for someone who is starting out on their entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah. So the first thing that I would give someone is that it is okay to be all over the place and to try different things, because you're not going to know what you're good at, what you love doing, or who you love working with unless you're trying different things. And once you're all over the place, then you make a decision on how to get clear, how to get clarity. But it's okay to go play in the sandbox, get dirty, be all over the place and figure it out. Just be conscientious that that is the strategy and you're not just kind of running amok, right? And I think that what we say, you need a niche down. Yes, you do. But in order to find out what your niche is, you got to find out all of the other things. So I would say give yourself grace, have fun, and then kind of reel yourself back in to explore what you want to decide to create first. And the reason why I say first is because entrepreneurship is so amazing, so colorful, and we're so brilliant that we're going to create different things. And the first thing you create is not going to be your last. So just have fun with making that first decision.
That is so true. I always say that entrepreneurship is not a destination. It's an evolution. It's a journey, because even though I've niched down to business systems and automation, I definitely didn't start there. I tried to create a membership like 2 or 3 times. And then my business coach was like, that's not your brand. That's not your brand. But I was like, no, I want to create a membership. But you try different things only to figure out what you want. So that's so true. And that's why I love your brand, because you were transparent about the ups, the downs, and then, just keep moving forward. That's the most important thing.
Thank you.
Now, I also like on your platform, you highlight your daughter. So we have to give a shout out to her, because she is your living legacy. So I know you're really proud of her and what she's accomplished so far.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, my daughter's 19. Everybody's like, whoa, you have a 19-year-old? I know I look 19 myself, you know what I'm saying? But it's very crazy because things are coming full circle. She is the age that I was when I actually got pregnant with her, right? And so for her to see her mom as a full-time entrepreneur, not doing a 9-to-5 and all the things, but literally flourishing in her business, she last year decided that she was going to be an entrepreneur and create her own hair care line. And she just finished cosmetology school. So it's been really cool to see. Like, I never would have thought that my daughter would be witnessing her mom be an entrepreneur and she would be one too. Like, I literally thought that I would retire from corporate America. My daughter would go to college and retire from corporate America. Everything that we've been conditioned and programmed to think and believe. But honestly, no. Now that's the scam.
And I'm sure people thought you were crazy. Like, why wouldn't you let your daughter go to college or different things like that? But she's really just following her own path. And people don't realize that children do watch what you do. My mom wasn't the traditional mom. She had entrepreneurial ventures, and then when was she? 53 or something like that. She retired, and so I'm worse because she's passed the entrepreneurial gene to me. But it's so important that we leave a living legacy for our children, because we never know how they'll run off with our ideas or things that we've done in our past.
Yeah, she actually got accepted to Georgia State, and she was going to go there. But when the pandemic hit, everything was online, and she was like, I cannot thrive online. I wanted to experience the college life. So she decided to go to cosmetology school, and I want her to be happy. I didn't say, no, you must go to college. I have 2 masters. You got to get one too. I said, you know what? Sure. Let's go ahead. Let's drop the courses. Let's go to Empire and enroll. And that helped her to thrive. And I think what we have to do is let ourselves and our kids thrive, and then kind of just learn along the way. But I enjoyed the question about my daughter.
Yeah, I'm glad. I wanted to make sure just to highlight her, because it is because of you that she is thriving and not just surviving with the traditional mindset that you have to have a set path and like what they put on us. Like, my mom didn't do that either, but I just hope that more parents will be like you and say, let her figure out her own path.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, I always hate when our conversations draw to a close, but I want to make sure that you plug in your business and tell us how we can keep up with you. And then also tell us what's next for you in your journey.
Sure. First of all, I want to thank you so much for Lady Mogul Talk. I was excited when I got the invite. And basically, I help entrepreneurs get out of their own way and push past mental blocks. So right now, I have a 90-day core accelerator. And what I'm going to do is help you build your core offer, your premium offer, your signature offer from start to finish. All the information is at MissWestCreativeCoach.com. And I'm just super excited because literally it's entrepreneurship in a box. It's group coaching and a little bit of one-on-one as well, because I truly believe that yes, learning from modules are cool. Learning in a group setting is great, but you also need that one-on-one time to get your questions answered and just to get your intimate time. So it's all about you. So the Core Accelerator kind of wraps all of that up. It's a hybrid program. And I definitely still have accountability on demand as well for those who aren't ready to create a core offer, but you're looking for a synergized mentorship. So everything's at my website.
Thank you so much. And I do hope you take advantage of what she has to offer, because it is simply amazing. You know, I don't just endorse anybody. So if I say she's amazing, she's amazing. So thank you so much for sharing your time, your expertise with Lady Mogul Talk. And we will see you next for another episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.